The news breaks, sending shockwaves through the region and beyond. It hits like a thunderclap across the Pacific, echoing through capitals and command centers worldwide. A Filipino supply boat, small and weathered from years of service, is on a critical mission. Its destination, the BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting World War II-era ship intentionally grounded on a remote shoal. For the Philippines, this battered vessel is more than just a supply outpost. It's a living symbol of sovereignty, a lonely sentinel in the contested waters of the West Philippine Sea. Suddenly, out of the morning haze, a massive Chinese Coast Guard cutter emerges, its engines roaring as it closes in fast, dwarfing the Filipino boat. Horns blare, warning lights flash, and urgent radio calls fill the air. The Filipino crew braces for impact, their faces tense with determination and fear. The collision is brutal. Metal crunches against metal, water cannons erupt in a torrent, shattering windows and drenching the crew. The chaos is overwhelming, but the Filipino sailors hold their ground. It's a David and Goliath struggle, broadcast live for the world to witness. News outlets scramble to cover the unfolding drama, as images of the clash dominate headlines. These confrontations are no longer rare, they've become a calculated show of force, repeated again and again as tensions escalate. Every damaged boat, every injured fisherman tells the same story, a superpower flexing its might, intimidating those who dare to stand in its way. China claims nearly all these waters, pointing to ancient maps and historical narratives. But international law, including a 2016 tribunal ruling, has dismissed these claims, declaring much of the area as international waters. For the Philippines, this is more than a territorial dispute. It's a fight for its land, its future, and its very identity as a nation. Soldiers stand guard, and citizens rally in protest, determined to defend what they believe is rightfully theirs. The world watches anxiously, aware that these waters are vital arteries for global trade. Trillions of dollars in goods pass through here each year, making stability in the South China Sea a matter of international concern. For ordinary Filipinos, the conflict is deeply personal, an existential struggle for sovereign rights, for the ability to fish and provide for their families, and for economic survival in uncertain times. The dramatic standoffs at sea are just the beginning. Beneath the surface, a deeper battle rages, one over resources, power, and the future of the region. Beneath the waves lies a fortune in oil and gas reserves, a hidden treasure that could change the fate of a nation, and perhaps, the balance of power in Asia. Beneath the turmoil of these restless waters lies a secret of staggering value, hidden from the world above. Experts believe the West Philippine Sea holds one of the world's last great reserves of oil and natural gas, a treasure trove waiting to be tapped. Some estimates put the potential at a mind-boggling $26.30 trillion, enough to transform the Philippines forever, reshaping its economic landscape. The Recto Bank, nestled within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, is considered the crown jewel of this underwater fortune. The U.S. Energy Information Administration estimates at least 11 billion barrels of oil, a staggering amount that could fuel the nation for decades, and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas in the South China Sea, enough to power industries and homes for generations. Much of this treasure lies within Philippine waters, fueling the ongoing conflict and territorial disputes. For perspective, the Philippine economy is about $400 billion a year. This hidden wealth is over 65 times that, a staggering comparison. It could erase national debt, fund generations of development, and lift the nation to new heights of prosperity and innovation. The fight is about more than pride. It's about securing a future of prosperity, ensuring the nation's rightful claim to its resources. The blue waters have become a treasure map, and the race to claim the prize is dangerously aggressive, with nations vying for control. For millions, the promise of the West Philippine Sea is a dream of a better life. Imagine a Philippines with reliable, affordable electricity, no more blackouts, every home powered. Natural gas could fuel a new era of growth, lighting up homes, schools, and hospitals. With domestic energy, the country could slash its dependence on costly imports, freeing billions for development. Roads, hospitals, schools, this wealth could build a stronger, healthier nation. Offshore energy would create thousands of high-paying jobs, keeping talent at home. The energy fortune is a key to unlocking the nation's potential. This is what's at stake, a self-sufficient, prosperous Philippines. The conflict isn't just about territory, it's about the right to build this dream. Will the next generation inherit opportunity or watch their future slip away? For over 20 years, the Malampaya gas field has been the silent powerhouse of the Philippines, quietly fueling the nation's progress. It has supplied up to 30% of Luzon's electricity, lighting up millions of homes, energizing industries, and supporting the daily lives of countless Filipinos. Malampaya's contribution has been nothing short of transformative, making it a backbone of the country's energy security. But now, Malampaya is running dry. Its once abundant reserves are dwindling fast. Experts warn that by 2027, the field could be completely depleted, leaving a massive gap in the nation's energy supply. The nation faces an urgent and unprecedented crisis. It must find new energy sources or risk widespread blackouts and economic disruption. The threat is real, and the clock is ticking. The Recto Bank, a vast underwater territory, is seen as the logical successor. It's believed to hold even more natural gas than Malampaya ever did, offering hope for the future. The government and private firms are eager to explore and develop these new reserves. However, every attempt to access Recto Bank is met with resistance. Chinese vessels routinely block the path, escalating tensions in the region. Survey ships are harassed and turned away, creating a blockade that keeps the Philippines from tapping into its own lifeline. The standoff at sea is more than a territorial dispute. It's a battle for the country's energy future. The paradox is stark. The Philippines sits atop a sea of gas, yet faces the very real prospect of an energy shortage. The resources are there, but access remains out of reach. The decline of Malampaya has turned the search for new energy into a national emergency, forcing leaders to confront tough choices and urgent deadlines. The only viable path forward leads straight into the heart of a growing conflict with China, where every move is watched and every decision carries enormous risk. The race is on to replace Malampaya before the lights go out. Engineers, policymakers, and energy experts are working around the clock, searching for solutions and alternatives. The stakes could not be higher: energy security for generations to come, or a future shrouded in darkness. The outcome will shape the destiny of millions. In the end, the outcome depends on who controls the sea, and whether the Philippines can secure its energy lifeline before time runs out. China enforces its claim with an intimidating presence: Navy, Coast Guard, and a shadowy maritime militia. These fishing boats swarm contested areas, intimidating and obstructing non-Chinese vessels. Filipino fishermen are chased away, their livelihoods destroyed, treated as trespassers in their own waters. China blocks every attempt by Manila to explore for energy, shadowing and obstructing survey ships. This economic blockade keeps the Philippines dependent on foreign energy, giving China leverage. Meanwhile, China has built artificial islands, military outposts with runways, harbors, and missile systems. These bases project power deep into Philippine waters, creating a permanent, threatening presence. The result, a daily reality of intimidation, lost livelihoods, and blocked ambitions. The struggle is not just at sea, it's for the future of the nation. The iron grip tightens, and the world takes notice. Facing overwhelming pressure, the Philippines turned to the law. In 2013, it filed a case against China at the Permanent Court of Arbitration, challenging the legality of China's sweeping claims. The case focused on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. In 2016, the tribunal ruled decisively for the Philippines. China's 9-dash line had no legal basis. The court affirmed the Philippines' rights to its exclusive economic zone and condemned China's interference. The ruling was celebrated as a triumph for international law. It gave the Philippines a powerful narrative, defending its territory against unlawful aggression. On paper, the legal battle was won, but the real fight was just beginning. China rejected the 2016 ruling outright, calling it waste paper. Beijing refused to participate in the proceedings and ignored the outcome. Since then, China has doubled down. Harassment of Filipino fishermen has intensified, and the blockade of energy exploration continues. The militarization of artificial islands accelerates, with new structures and advanced weaponry. The legal victory has had little effect at sea. China's ships still rule the waters. The Philippines has a binding judgment, but no way to enforce it. The international system relies on voluntary compliance, and China is immune to pressure. The result? A paper victory, but a war still being lost on the water. The Philippines won in court, but the dragon still guards the gate. The conflict is about more than oil and gas. It's a global chessboard. The West Philippine Sea is a critical shipping lane. A third of global maritime trade passes through. For China, control means securing economic lifelines and projecting military power. Artificial islands act as unsinkable aircraft carriers, giving China control over trade and security. The sea's rich fishing grounds are vital for China's food security, as its own stocks dwindle. By driving out other nations' fishermen, China seeks to monopolize resources, fueling regional tensions. Most crucially, this is a central front in the US-China rivalry. The US Navy conducts freedom of navigation operations, challenging China's claims and risking confrontation. The stakes are global trade, security, and the balance of power in Asia. The world's superpowers are watching and maneuvering. The Philippines stands at a crossroads, between the promise of prosperity and the reality of blockade. The nation must assert its rights without provoking a conflict it cannot win alone. To deter aggression, the Philippines has strengthened its alliance with the United States, revitalizing the Mutual Defense Treaty. This alliance is a shield, but also a risk. Regional disputes could spark global conflict. Internally, unity is essential. The struggle for the West Philippine Sea must be a national cause. Only a united front can rally diplomatic support and show resolve. The story of the West Philippine Sea is the story of the Filipino spirit, resilient, proud, and determined. The path forward demands courage, diplomacy, and patience. The decisions made today will decide if the Philippines unlocks its potential, or if its $26 trillion dream remains out of reach. The world is watching to see which path this nation will choose.